Okay, so this is another problem that you might want to have a look at first. Press pause perhaps now and work it through, and then once you've worked it through, come back and press play again to compare your answers to the ones shown in the worked example. So pressing pause now if you'd like to work through it yourself first. Okay, so we're looking first in part A. We're looking for the probability that a person selected at random will test positive for the disease. So from the information at the top, we can see we've got two situations happening. They firstly either have the disease or they don't have the disease. And then they either test positive or they test negative. And it doesn't matter whether they have the disease or not, the test could return a positive or a negative result for each situation. So we have a positive and a negative branch coming off each of the disease or no disease. So in the problem, it tells us that only 0.5% of the population actually have the disease. So we've got 0.5%. So we'll write that as 0.005. Okay, so only 0.5% have the disease, and then that means that with no disease we've got 0.995. Now it's supposed to give a positive test with 99% of the people who do have the disease. So if you have the disease and you're tested, then it'll come up 0.9% of the time, or 99% of the time, it'll come up positive. But that means that even if you have the disease, you might test negative 1% of the time. And we also know that in this test, even if you don't have the disease, it might come up with 2% of the time, it will come up saying actually it's a positive test. So we've got 0.202. We'll also have 0.98 of those who don't have the disease coming up with a negative test. So part A wants to know that the probability they will actually test positive for the disease. So we've got these two branches here. So we need to multiply along and then add both of those branches together to get our final answer. That answer comes out to be 0.02485, or approximately 2.5%. Right? So we'll get a positive test if we just randomly pick someone about 2.5% of the time. Now part B tells us that a person has just been tested positive, so they've returned a positive test for the disease. So find the probability that she actually has the disease. So this might give you some ideas that it's a conditional probability because something's happened. She's tested positive for this disease. So in part B, we've got something's happened first. So we're looking for the probability that she has the disease given that we've had a positive test returned. So again, by our conditional probability formula, we know that the numerator is going to be the intersection of those two, and the denominator is going to be the probability of the given term, or the probability that she tests positive. So although we rounded our answer here, we'll go back to using the full answer for our denominator. So we have 0.02485, and on the top line we're looking for the probability that she has the disease and tests positive. So that's looking through our formula at the top here. It's the 0.005 times 0.99, and we'll enter that on the numerator, which means that we're writing in 0.00495 for our numerator. Now if we divide those out, 0.02485, then we end up with an answer that says the conditional probability will occur 0.19920 in fact, okay, to what's that, 5 significant figures. Alright, so approximately 20%. So this is saying that she's tested positive for the disease. What's the probability that she actually has the disease? It's about 20%. And that leads us to part C, which asked us to comment on our answer to part B. And in this case, we'd be saying, well, about 20% of the time you're going to actually have the disease given that you tested positive. So what we're really saying is that it's a fairly small proportion of people who have positive tests are actually ill. So we would have to say this test isn't really a very good or reliable test. We might write something like this, saying not a very good or reliable test, only about 20% of those who test positive are actually ill. And it may not have looked like that from the original information that we had. If we just move back to the tree, we can see that we were talking about fairly small percentages who have the disease, and we were talking about a fairly good test rate on that small percentage. But when we look at the conditional probability of having the positive test, then the fact that 2% of almost the whole population will still test positive even though they don't have the disease ends up having a large effect on the reliability of the test results. So we would say, by looking at the conditional probability, that it isn't a particularly reliable test.